What's up, peeps? Does your Battlefield 6 on console look a little blurry, laggy, or just off? I've tested every setting, every resolution, and these are the ones that make your game look insanely crisp while keeping your FPS as high as possible. And as well, I'm throwing in a secret little setting that'll help you identify enemies significantly easier. So let's jump right into this video. So let's go into the settings, which is all the way to the right hand side, and we're going to go to the first one, the accessibility. For some reason, the one that we want is only in this section. I haven't found it in the graphics section, but let's go ahead and take a look. In the accessibility section where it says graphic quality and settings, we're going to go to color profiles. This is very, very important. This is what's going to make all your buttons seem a lot punchier. So this one is going to be by default in the default section. So you want to click on this one. You want to switch it all the way to the custom one. And then what you want to get to do on this one is, for example, primary color, it's white, so you don't need to change that one. But the player color, we're going to hop in here, and usually you can move, so with your left analog stick, you can move the color. Usually it's going to be set around here. That's the normal one. But what you're going to want to do is just move your left stick all the way up. And what that's going to do is make that same color, but way more saturated. So we're going to do it with this one. Same thing with the enemy color. It was like around here. So again, they're all just a little bit unsaturated. And again, go ahead and put all the colors up to the top right, and it's going to make an insanely more saturated. Also, if you want something different, like you want your squad enemies or your player color a different color, this is where you can change it. But just remember, whenever you change the color, put it all the way to the top right, and it will be the most saturated color. After that, now let's go into the graphics settings. So for the first one, this one is set by default in balance mode, and you want it to be in auto performance mode. This means that your FPS is going to be the most important thing, and you're going to have the highest FPS. Next up, for the world brightness, I do like to decrease it just a little bit. Sometimes whenever you're like on the inside looking outside, the brightness is just way too much. So I decrease my brightness to 44, and it is significantly better. Next up, for the sharpness, I also decreased it just a little bit. I think the sharpness can be just a little too much, and lowering the sharpness just makes your game look just a little bit better as well. For my field of view on console, I like playing on 109. 120 is just a little bit too much of a stretch because most of the gunfights are further away. So remember, the higher your FOV, the center of your screen will be further away. Yes, you'll be able to see more of your surroundings, but again, if you're doing a lot of gunfights that are further away, then you don't want that FOV as high. Next up, we got the weapon field of view. And what does this mean? Basically, narrow means whenever you change your field of view, remember, everything feels a little different, right? The center of your screen is further off, so it obviously has to distortionate some of the things. Narrow means that your gun will remain the same size as if it was in 90 FOV. What you like to put on this one is wide. It'll make your gun look the FOV that you have, and will also make it seem like you have less recoil. This is kind of like one of those tips on there. Next up, remember the weapon motion blur, world motion blur, and camera shake amount. You want to tune that all the way to the left. It'll make it seem more cinematic, but again, we don't want cinematic. We want something that's clean looking. You don't want any motion blur. This is an option that you can turn on as well, which reduces the sprint camera bobbing on this one, but I have it off, and I honestly don't see that much of a difference here. For this one, the chromatic aberration, vignette, and film grain, you're going to turn all of these off as well. Now, this one, you're going to turn all of these on, but again, this is where you can make it seem, if you want a more cinematic feel, you can show all of these off. So your infantry HUD, your overlays, all these is where you can turn them on or off. But we're going to go into this one, the advanced HUD settings as well. Horizontal padding, what this one does is all your HUD that you have on your screen, you can, if you move it to the right, as you guys can see, it'll move to the center of your screen. So just do not touch this and keep this all the way to the left-hand side. I also changed the kill feed that only shows the kills made by my squad and obviously by me. And this will keep your kill feed, again, a lot cleaner. Remember, the less clutter that you have of important things that don't matter is always more important. Kill feed icons I have on, ping notifications we have off, and here's where you can change the size of your minimap. This one, it is set by default to small, but remember, you want the biggest minimap possible so you can see and have the most information available. The opacity for this one, all these, I left it as it is. And as we go to the bottom of the screen, again, I did not change anything else on this menu, so we can go ahead and back out of that one. After we did the HUD settings, now we're going to go to the bottom and we're going to go into HUD icons right here, and we are going to edit these. Now, this is where we're going to change some things that'll make your enemies a lot easier to see. So this is the pings in the map. So everything from the enemy pings, the objective pings, and it tells you whether you're aiming or not. So your aim-based icons opacity. This is when you're aiming down sight, the icons that appear on the map, like the objectives and all that sort of stuff. So first one, I tuned down the opacity in this one because when we're ADSing, we want to be focused on our target. We don't want all these other distractions in our face. So we tune down the opacity, and as well the icons opacity peripheral as well. We tune this one down a little bit. Now for the objective icons, this is the one that I tuned down even less. So objective icons, again, I don't want them that big in my screen. I know where the objectives are. So objective icons go all the way to the bottom, a little bit more bottom on this one. And then for the same thing, objective icons opacity, tune that down a little bit. Objective icons opacity while zoomed as well, tune these down a little bit, copy my settings here. Now for the friendly icons as well, I just tuned the opacity just down just a little bit, again, to make your screen a little bit cleaner. For these squad icons, I did not change anything here, but this is one of the cool little secrets here. So for the enemy icon scale should be at 100. That's your default. But go ahead and set this one at 120. And as you guys can see right here in the screen, whenever the enemies are pinged in front of your screen, which happens a lot in Battlefield, you'll be able to see it just a little bit bigger. And with the tip that I gave you at the beginning, plus this, you are not going to miss an enemy ping on your screen. It makes it just big enough so that you can see it perfectly. And then the neutral icons and the ping markers, we're not going to change any of these. After this one, we've got the crosshairs and indicators, and this is where you can change your crosshairs colors. And I did change it a little bit. So for first of all, the intensity. This one's set to 80 or 90, I believe. Tune it down to 100. That will make your crosshairs a lot more intense and easier to see. Now, here, I chose the color green. You can go with whichever color you want. As you guys can see on the right-hand side, you've got a visual on the different environments. So you can go ahead and play with the color that you would maybe want to see. Again, you want to choose a color that is easy to see in all these ones. And for that one, I honestly chose the neon green. I think it's pretty good to see in all types of environment. So if you want to copy with this one, go ahead. But I like green on this one. Next up, the crosshair thickness. You can actually make it a little bit thicker, but this will only be the little point in the middle of your screen. As you guys can see, the only thing that changes is the point, but I like it at default. And for infantry crosshair projection, turn this one off. What this does is, let's say, for example, if you vault over something, if it's on, that crosshair will move with your gun. So the crosshair will be aiming towards where you're exactly aiming, but you don't want that. If you turn it off, your crosshair will always be in the center of your screen. And then here for the hit indicators, this is where you can make things a little bit interesting, unique towards you. And again, a lot easier to distinguish the color so you know whenever you hit an enemy and whenever you didn't. So the hit color, I left it at white. The headshot color, again, I have it at red, but this one, my kill color is actually purple, and I like this one. I don't know, I like red being the headshot, and purple is just something that pops out immediately, so whenever I see purple, I know I killed that enemy. Again, you can play whichever colors that you want, but I do suggest as well here, the headshot, I think this one was set to white, so I do recommend you switching it. Your headshot color, make it different than your hit color, and as well, all these colors make it different than your kill color, so you can identify when you kill an enemy. And then the final thing, do you guys find that chat box in the top is so annoying and it takes out your whole screen? Well, here you can change that. So we're going to go into chat settings, which is all the way at the bottom. You are going to keep it active on this one. But here, what we're going to change, number one, is the background opacity. If you have it all the way to the right, that means that you'll have like that black screen. So you want to tune it all the way to the left, and the only thing that you'll see is the words. And in this one here, you can change the position. So as you guys can see, if we move this to the right, the chat will be more to the right. So I moved it so it's exactly on the top left of my screen, the least visually distracting possible. And here you got your chat scale. So this is how big you want it to be. And I put it at 60. Again, at 60, the letters are pretty small, so again, but if you don't really care much about the chat, you can just tune it down a little bit. I have it at 60 because sometimes you want to see the chat, sometimes you don't, so these are the best settings for me to look at the chat. And ladies and gentlemen, those are the best settings for graphics if you are on console. If you guys have any questions, please let me know down below in the comments. Peace out. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one.